Welcome back to my channel, and I hope you are having an amazing day. If you are new to my channel, I'm Vera, but you can call me V, and I share stories that I receive from my followers and subscribers. Stories in need of your advice and opinions. And so if this is something you love, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Also turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Today's shout out goes to Phoebe Opare586 for being the first person to comment on my last video. Thank you so much for the support, babe. I love you. And now, I bet you know that. Relax, get comfortable, and let's get right into it. Story number 1. Hi V. I'd like to share my story with your followers. I've been through countless relationships and ended up heartbroken. However, I finally met a wonderful guy who is Muslim. He treated me kindly when I was at my lowest, and he helped me get back on my feet. Initially, my parents struggled to accept him due to his faith, especially since my father is a pastor. This guy is an engineer now, and I fell in love with him for the first time. I'm not the type of girl to fall in love easily, but his calm demeanor and quiet lifestyle captivated me. Unfortunately, as our relationship deepened, my parents pressured me to break up with him because of his religion. Despite this, he remained supportive and cool-headed. I previously dated men with more explosive personalities, so it was refreshing to be with someone like him. At one point, I found myself in a difficult situation and sought help from an older man. I needed money, and although I was still with my boyfriend, I felt compelled to reach out for support. One mistake I made was introducing my rich acquaintance to my parents, who were enamored with his wealth and everything he could provide. They began urging me to marry him, and even though I still love my boyfriend, I felt torn. Now, I'm preparing to marry this rich man, but I secretly continue to see my boyfriend, who everyone thinks I've broken up with. It's only a few months until our wedding. This man has been generous and supportive, especially towards my 2 kids. He even helped change their school. Despite everything, I can't stop loving my boyfriend. I feel confused about whether I should go through with this marriage or break things off with a rich man to be with my true love. If I leave, I worry about losing the stability my rich fiancé has provided. He has made it clear that if I were to leave him, he would move on too. Meanwhile, my boyfriend has been equally open about his deepening feelings for me. Adding to the complexity, my fiancé is nearly 19 years older than me. I'm really uncertain about what to do. Should I move on and marry this rich man, or should I break up with him and stay with the boy I truly love? I would appreciate your advice and would love to hear what your followers think. Thank you. Babe, I just have one question for you. Can you live with someone just for money? Now, remember that at the end of the day, the decision is yours. I can't make it for you. So, babe, just think about what makes you happy. Ask yourself if you can picture your life with this rich guy. Will you be satisfied even if you are not in love? Or do you think what you have with your boyfriend is worth fighting for? Even if it means sacrificing the money you are getting from this rich man. So babe, your happiness matters. You deserve to be with someone who makes you happy, someone who makes you feel whole. So in this situation, the only thing I can tell you is to go with your guts. Don't rush your decision. Take your time and think about it very carefully. And just choose what feels right for you. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 1 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 2. I will be getting married in a few weeks, and as my wedding day draws closer, I find myself battling a wave of insecurities. I'm a thick, beautiful woman, confident in my looks and personality. My fiancé, on the other hand, is smaller and shorter than I am. He's handsome in his own way, but his height has drawn negative comments from others. He's an incredible man, supportive, God-fearing, generous, and he truly prioritizes my happiness and needs. He ticks all my boxes, and I couldn't have prayed for a better partner. Yet, as much as I love him, I struggle with the thought of public ridicule and criticism. People have already started making funny remarks about my choice of partner, and I'm scared it will only intensify once we are married. I know this comment shouldn't matter, but I've always been someone who feels things deeply. I accepted my fiancé for who he is because his good heart and character are everything I've ever wanted. but I can't help but feel a little anxious about how to deal with the judgment and ridicule from others. I love this man, and I'm proud to call him mine. I just need advice on how to handle the pressure of public opinion and stay strong, especially as the wedding day approaches. Please help me. I will be in the comment section. Thank you. Babe, first of all, congratulations on your upcoming wedding. Now, babe, it is completely normal to feel anxious about what other people think. But babe, remember that the most important opinion is yours. You love your fiancé for who he is, his character, his support, and the happiness he brings into your life. At the end of the day, that is all that truly matters, babe. People will always have opinions, often based on shallow things like height or looks. What you need to realize is that their opinions often come from their own insecurities, not from any real insight into your relationship. They don't know your relationship, they don't know your man. You do. Babe, focus on the love you share with your fiancé. Every couple faces challenges. You should be stronger because you two have something genuine. And babe, it is okay to feel hurt by negative comments. You are human. But don't let these comments define your happiness or your relationship. Surround yourself with people who support you in your choices. When someone makes a negative remark, you don't have to engage with it or let it affect you. A simple, confident response like, "We are happy together and that is all that matters," can show that their opinion doesn't matter. And it doesn't bother you. If it keeps happening, consider addressing it directly with those making the comments. If possible, cut those people off. And babe, lastly, remember that your wedding day is about you and your fiancé. Focus on the love you share and the future you are building together. Babe, you deserve to be proud of your choice. Trust in your love and stand strong against negativity. And babe, just enjoy this beautiful journey ahead. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 2 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 3. Hello, Vera. I've been dating a guy, K, for 4 years. K means everything to me. He loves me dearly and does everything for me. Although we come from different religious backgrounds, he's Muslim and I'm Christian, our differences have never affected our relationship. However, last month, K introduced me to a girl he claimed was a sister, and something didn't feel right. Since K's house is a small self-contained apartment, we usually meet at his workplace. He always calls me before heading home after work. One day, he didn't call, and when I tried reaching him, his phone was unreachable. So I went to his house the next day and met the girl. She was dressed in a way that suggested she was married. When I asked her about K's whereabouts, she told me he had an accident and that she was his wife. Hey. When K returned from the hospital, I confronted him, but he insisted the girl was his sister. I did some research and discovered that his mother had brought the girl to K as his wife. When I asked K again, he confessed that the girl was indeed brought by his mother as his wife, but he claimed he didn't slap her and that they weren't married. V, I'm heartbroken. This is the man I've given my life to, my first love. He took my virginity and I'm deeply invested in him. I've tried to move on and leave, but it's hard. I struggle to go a single day without talking to him. Sometimes I feel like I should just pretend the girl doesn't exist and focus on our love. But the truth is, I feel jealous when I think about another girl being in his house. It is hard for me to accept the situation. To make matters worse, I come from a poor background. My family struggles to make ends meet, and sometimes we don't even have food to eat. But since I met K, he has provided everything I need. He has been my rock and my supporter. He even opened a business for me, giving me a sense of financial stability and independence. Please, Vera, I need your advice. What should I do? Should I hold on to our love and hope that everything works out? Or should I walk away and start a new chapter in my life? Babe, I'm really sorry for what you are going through. Now, I know you've invested a lot into this relationship. Look, babe, I know you love him, and he's been there for you. But this whole situation raises some serious red flags. He lied about this girl being his sister, and then later admits that she's his wife. That is a betrayal of trust. How can you trust this man? You deserve someone who is open and honest with you, especially about such big parts of their life. If you had not found out the truth about him, you would have been with this man and you would have continued wasting your time. It is understandable to feel conflicted, but think about it, babe. Is this healthy for you? Are you going to be happy in the long run dealing with jealousy and uncertainty? Imagine your life in a year from now. Will you be able to move past this and feel secure and happy? Or will you be left feeling anxious about what is happening behind the scenes? You deserve to feel secure in your relationship and to know that the person you are with is fully committed to you and you alone. I know this is a tough decision, but you have to find the strength in you to move away from this situation. And babe, always trust your instincts. It is always right. So what is your instincts telling you? Now, at the end of the day, it is your decision, but whatever you decide, remember that you deserve love that gives you peace of mind. You've got this, and I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 3 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 4. Hi V, am I the asshole for refusing to apologize to my sister after she called me a slut? A little background story. I'm 19 years old and my sister is 26. I have loved my sister and looked up to her. My sister got pregnant when I was just 14 and I looked after her child while she went to complete university. However, for the past 2 years, my sister has been using something I told her in confidence against me. When I was in secondary school, I had a close friend whom I would call L. L had a friend who had repeated the class because he failed a government exam. We will call him M. I and M became very good friends. At some point, he told my friend L that he liked me, but she lied to him and told him I was in a relationship when I wasn't, simply because another guy was pursuing me. Things became intimate between M and me, and we had sex once. After that, we decided to concentrate on our respective partners because I had started dating the other guy who was pursuing me, and my friend was showing advances towards him. Fast forward to 2 months after the incident between M and me, I got very ill, and at that time, my phone broke. I gave my phone to my friend L to help me return it to my boyfriend so he could arrange it. She did so, but went ahead and gave my password to him, and he saw the text messages between M and me, so my friend L found out I slept with her boyfriend M. But I tried to explain that it happened before they started dating. I recognized I was wrong and kept my distance, and during that time of loneliness, I told my sister because I was depressed. M broke up with my friend L and told her he had always loved me. She knew it but decided to hate me for something we both committed. When I went to university last year, M and I reconnected and we started dating. It has been a year since we have been together. My sister keeps calling me a backstabber and a betrayer because I'm dating my friend's ex. But for context, L and I are not friends anymore because of what happened, as she didn't forgive me. This year, I started living in a rented apartment that my uncle arranged for me. But my sister keeps making my life a living hell. She doesn't cook, clean, or help with any household chores. And she gets angry when my mom sends me money for an allowance and I don't give her something from it. Anytime I receive money my uncle sends, she tells me I'm a worthless whore who sleeps around and steals people's boyfriends and husbands. What? I have cried and questioned whether it was a bad idea to ever tell her what happened back then. Moreover, my cousin, who stayed with me during my first year of university, started telling lies about me, saying I sleep around for money and that I always complain that I don't have money because I'm stingy. My cousin is 25, and during my time staying with her, I always used my own money to cook without asking for a refund or anything. It has gotten to the point where if I tell her I don't have money, she uses slangs or goes out and doesn't return until the next day. I remember a time when I was severely sick during my internship and my cousin couldn't cook food at home because she was expecting me to give her money. I sent her a text a month ago and told her I was tired of her lying about me and telling people I sleep around with men just because I refused to break up with my boyfriend to date a 30-year-old man because he has money. As for my sister, I'm planning not to talk to her again and to give her the silent treatment because I'm tired of all this. How can my own blood sister call me a slut and a homewrecker? My mom told me to apologize to my cousin and my sister for speaking to them rudely, but deep down, I don't want to. I'm too young to be going through all this. What hurts me even more is that I have never slept with someone for money, and I never even thought of it. I don't understand why my sister keeps calling me such bad names. My friends are telling me to treat her the same way she treats me, but I'm too soft-hearted, and that is my weakness. Please, V, I need your advice. Babe, it is important to understand that you are not responsible for how your sister or your cousin choose to talk about you. Their words reflect their character, not yours. Your sister calling you a slut and a homewrecker is cruel. Like, why would you call your own sister these names? It sounds like she's projecting her own insecurities and frustrations onto you. Babe, given the situation, you have every right to give them the silent treatment, especially if that is what feels best for your mental health. Sometimes, cutting off toxic relationships is very necessary, even if they are family. You don't have to tolerate their negative influence in your life. Now, as for your mother's advice to apologize, don't apologize if you don't want to. You need to prioritize your own emotional well-being over trying to please people who are not treating you right. Also, babe, it is okay to set boundaries. Focus on surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. And it is okay to be soft-hearted and caring, but don't let that be a weakness that allows people to take advantage of you. Stand firm in your truth and be proud of who you are. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 4 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment section. She's reading them. Let's move on to story number 5. I was really suffering and my life was a complete mess. For months, I felt stuck in a never-ending cycle of depression and frustration. I was living with a friend named Clara. Clara had always been the most successful one between us. She had a stable job and a nice apartment. Meanwhile, I was just trying to figure things out, working odd hours at a restaurant in Accra to barely make ends meet. Every day was a struggle. Clara would frequently remind me how lucky I was to stay with her. You should be grateful I let you live here, she'd say, her tone dripping with disdain. I remember one evening when I came home after a long shift. I was exhausted and just wanted to relax. Clara started playing loud music and kept me awake throughout the night. I felt trapped, constantly reminded of how pathetic my life has become. Living with Clara was suffocating and I wanted nothing more than to escape. Then everything changed when I met him. I was at a restaurant where I worked, trying to serve customers with a smile despite feeling so low. That is when I met him. You have a beautiful smile, he said, and for the first time in a long time, I felt noticed. I was desperate for attention, and when he asked me out, I hesitated for a moment. This man was not attractive and was in his 40s, but then I remembered the car he drove to the restaurant, so I said yes. As we began dating, something unexpected happened. He started to change my life in ways I couldn't have imagined. Almost immediately, he rented a lovely apartment for me and furnished it fully. It was a relief to finally have a space I could call my own, away from Clara. Just focus on yourself, he told me one day, as we sat in my new living room surrounded by cozy furniture. I will take care of everything. You don't need to work anymore. I had gone from desperately scraping by to being taken care of by this man. It was almost too good to be true. For a short while, everything felt perfect. For once in my life, I felt valued and loved. But as life goes, things can change in an instant. One day, I received a phone call that changed everything. It was an unknown number. The moment I heard the voice on the other end of the line, my heart dropped like a stone. The person introduced herself as his wife. I just sat down frozen. She rained insults on me, calling me a homewrecker, a gold digger, and every other ugly name you could think of. How dare you get involved with my husband? She screamed. Go and find your own man. I had fallen for him, despite his looks or the fact that he wasn't my type. But now the reality sank in. He was married. The comforts and luxuries he had provided me came crashing down around me. I realized too late that being married meant he belonged to someone else, and I would lose all the wonderful things he had done for me. The thought of going back to my old life, sharing an apartment with Clara and her insults felt unbearable. I had dated plenty of men in the past, but this was different. This was my first real glimpse into a life filled with luxury, attention, and acceptance. I couldn't let it go without a fight. When I finally confronted him about the phone call, he seemed unfazed. Don't worry about her, he said lightly, brushing off my concerns. I love you. I want to marry you too. At that moment, I felt a mixture of relief and confusion. Did he really care? But then reality struck hard again. How can you say that? You're already married. I couldn't make sense of how he could easily dismiss what should have been a major deal. Oh, that I married her through the court, he explained casually, as if it were a minor detail. It is just a legal thing. I can have a traditional wedding with you, and that way we will be married too. His words washed over me in a haze. Traditional wedding, I repeated, still trying to process what it meant. He wasn't Muslim, so how could this all work? I knew I should be feeling horrified, but I felt trapped between my emotions and the life I desperately wanted to keep. Soon, I found myself leaning towards the idea. I couldn't bear the thought of losing the security he provided. Okay, I agreed. Let's do it. But it didn't take long for my decision to crash down around me. All hell broke loose when his wife found out about his intention to take a second wife. I don't even know how she found my apartment, but one day I was trying to relax when I heard a firm knock on the door. I hesitated for a moment, unsure of who it would be. When I finally opened the door, standing before me was his wife. I didn't even recognize her until she introduced herself, and in that moment, my stomach dropped. She wanted to come in, but I refused, my mind racing and my heart pounding against my chest. We stood there in the hallway, her eyes fierce, yet full of desperation I hadn't expected. "I'm sorry for how I treated you over the phone," she said. Then, in a softer tone, she begged me to leave her husband alone. As she began to share her history with him, a part of me felt compelled to listen. "I was with him when he had nothing," she started. "He was sick for several years, and I took care of him when no one else would. I sacrificed so much for him." He mentioned nights spent nursing him back to health, and the countless times she risked everything to support him, even when he had nothing to offer in return. "I loved him when he was at his lowest," she said, crying. "He was a broken man, and I helped him become who he is now. So please think about what you are doing and leave him alone." She looked at me, pleading, "You are a woman too. Put yourself in my shoes. What would you do?" A desperation echoed in my mind, and I felt a bit sorry for her. But then I realized I had to think about myself too. I needed him. I needed the life he provided for me, the support and the love I craved. I couldn't bear the thought of giving all that up. So I told her, "I can't. I'm in love with your husband. We just have to share him and coexist peacefully." Hey! The look she gave me felt like a slap, and her face changed all of a sudden. "You don't know who you are dealing with," she screamed. "I can take you and your miserable life from existence." I tried to respond gently, hoping to ease the tension, but she was having none of it. "If you think you are a woman, keep pursuing my husband, but remember you should go and look for your own instead of chasing mine." Then she started speaking in a language I didn't understand. She suddenly spat on the floor right in front of me, and with that she declared, "This is your last warning." With that she turned and walked away. For some reason, what she said put fear in my heart, and I have been having horrible nightmares lately. I need this man. If only you knew how bad my life was before. I just can't lose him, but now I'm also scared of his wife's words. I'm telling myself she was just talking and nothing will come out of her threats. But what if she ends up harming me? Do you think this woman can harm me? What can I do to protect myself? I really need advice. Babe, I'm going to be straight with you. You are in deep water right now. And this is not just about love and security anymore, babe. It is about your safety and your mental well-being. Babe, let's be real. You are tangled up in a relationship with a married man, and that mess can really blow up in your face. First off, his wife is clearly not someone you should take lightly. She showed up to your door. How did she even know where you lived? And laid down her feelings. She's hurt, oh, and hurt people can do desperate things. Her threats might sound like just angry words, but you never know how far someone will go when they feel they are losing everything. If you are feeling afraid, babe, you have to run. You shouldn't have to live in fear because of a relationship. Also, think about your life before this man. Sure, it was tough, but right now, you are not exactly living the dream life either. You are living in constant fear. You are stuck in a situation that makes you anxious and scared. That is not healthy. Babe, instead of staying in this chaotic situation, think about stepping back. Yes, it will hurt at first, but holding on to something that can turn dangerous isn't worth it. Focus on yourself, babe. Look into new job opportunities, or even consider moving somewhere new if it feels right for you. Babe, understand that you can find love and happiness without all this drama. Babe, Babe, you need to prioritize your safety and peace of mind, though. Don't ignore the fear you are feeling. It is your guts trying to tell you something very important. Babe, move on from this man. You deserve better. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 5 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. And now, say it with me. This is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to them in the comment sections, because obviously these issues are worrying them. And that is why they've sent me these stories in the first place. So please be kind. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for, babe? Come and join the family. Subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.